Led by visionary founder Elon Musk, Tesla has been revolutionizing the global automotive playing field and pushing the boundaries of innovation in the United States and beyond. But despite its countless accomplishments, there's one major obstacle standing in its way: the lack of recognition from the White House and especially from President Joe Biden. Tesla is the largest automotive company in the world by market cap, and it's been keeping the United States competitive on the global stage while traditional US automakers remain stuck in the mud. Yet despite being an American company, for Tesla to get acknowledgement from its own government or from Joe Biden has been nothing short of pulling teeth. This has been going on for years, where the government has been making its own electric vehicle plans while completely snubbing the EV giant. At one point, Elon Musk even said, "Let's see if we can get them to say the word Tesla." But instead, Biden has congratulated the union-backed companies such as Ford and General Motors, despite their meager accomplishments compared to Tesla. For instance, in late 2021, Joe Biden very publicly praised General Motors CEO Mary Barra for leading the electric vehicle industry. Well, this was not only completely false, ironically, in that same quarter, Tesla had delivered over 300,000 electric vehicles, while GM had only produced 26 cars, literally 10,000 times less than Tesla. Nevertheless, Elon Musk has stated that if he was ever invited or approached by the White House, he would do the right thing for the country. Now, President Joe Biden has set forth an ambitious goal to make 50% of vehicles in the US electric by 2030, and in concert, he has a plan to build 500,000 chargers across the country by the same time frame. However, it appears that Biden just realized that he won't be able to reach his targets without the help of Tesla and Elon Musk. And before we continue, stop using Yahoo Finance, stop using Google Finance, and have a look at our website, themarketisopen.com, where we have instant stock quotes and a brand new set of financial data going back 15 years, and it's all freely available. Today, the Biden administration announced additional investments in electric vehicle infrastructure, including $7.5 billion for EV charging, $10 billion for clean transportation, and over $7 billion for battery components and critical materials, and these will complement the Inflation Reduction Act. Surprisingly, they included Tesla first on the list in their new commitments for public charging network expansions, stating that private funds plus federal dollars will be combined to put the nation's EV charging goals closer within reach. Amazingly, the president tweeted, "In building our EV charging network, we have to ensure that as many chargers work for as many drivers as possible. To that end, Elon Musk will open a big part of Tesla's network up to all drivers. That's a big deal, and it'll make a big difference." Now, the bigger deal here is that the government actually decided to work with Tesla instead of against them, which will accelerate both the country's and Tesla's EV ambitions. The announcement states that Tesla will open up 7,500 chargers to other non-Tesla electric vehicles by the end of 2024, with 3,500 of these being 250 kilowatt superchargers along highways, and it also says level 2 destination chargers at hotels and restaurants, etc., though it's a bit unclear if that's part of the 3,500. Nonetheless, EV drivers will use the Tesla app or website to access these stations, and furthermore, Tesla is committing to more than doubling its US set of superchargers, which are manufactured in Buffalo, New York at Tesla's Gigafactory. Now, this is a little funny because it seems like Tesla was going to increase their supercharger network as fast as they could anyways, with or without the government. And this announcement makes it seem like the White House is taking most of the credit for this initiative. Tesla has actually begun opening up its charging network to non-Tesla EVs since 2021 in at least 16 countries, mainly across Europe, and they've been planning for some time to open them up in the US as well. Now, to be fair, Tesla has set up a deal that makes a lot of sense for the company in order to access a portion of the $7.5 billion of funds set aside for this initiative. Tesla Roddy points out that Tesla would need to support the CCS standard in order to qualify for the subsidy. But there is a reason why Tesla likely won't be switching to use CCS, since the bulky charger is significantly larger than Tesla's compact design. The government is trying to impose these standards in order to make sure that charging is predictable and reliable, as well as making sure chargers are working when drivers need them. However, the connector type is more for compatibility rather than guaranteeing that a charger will work, since other types of stations use this connector but are still unreliable. That said, Tesla sells a CCS adapter and can provide them at stations, which should suffice. One of the standards that's outlined is also related to drivers not needing multiple apps and accounts to charge. But according to Biden's tweet, third-party EVs will indeed need to use the Tesla app. So it appears that Tesla isn't budging so quickly, especially where the government's decisions don't align with where the technology resides or where it's headed. Tesla also has such a lead in many areas that they essentially are the standard. Tesla has the largest charging network in the world, with over 42,000 chargers as of the end of 2022. This was also a 35% increase over 2021 as they try to keep up with the company's vehicle sales growth. As per this initiative, Tesla plans to double the size of their US charging network. While it seems like a considerable task, most of their chargers around the world have been manufactured by their Gigafactory in Buffalo, New York. Tesla did recently open a new supercharger factory in China, which aims to produce 10,000 superchargers per year. But going forward, it's likely that this China factory will focus on expanding superchargers for the rest of the world, while Giga New York focuses on the US. It's estimated that Tesla has about 16,000 superchargers in the United States, and so doubling this number within 2 years seems quite achievable given Tesla's 35% growth rate for their much larger global network. Now, what's interesting is that Tesla has agreed to only open 7,500 chargers over the next 2 years, something they can do today if they wanted to, since the chargers already exist. But this seems newsworthy because over the next 2 years, if Tesla doubles the US network to 32,000 superchargers and they open up 7,500, that's about a quarter of them. Not to mention that the announcement includes destination chargers, which don't count as superchargers and would reduce this number. But there's nothing that says Tesla must open up an entire charging station. Tesla owners' biggest concern is that non-Tesla EVs will cause huge lineups at Tesla stations and degrade the Tesla customer experience. However, because Tesla has only agreed to open up roughly a quarter of their future network, given that they have 2 years to roll this out as they continue to add more stalls and stations, they can actually choose to open just a few charging stalls from each station to the public. For instance, if there are 16 connectors at a station, a Tesla driver would be able to use all 16 of them, but a non-Tesla EV may only be able to charge at 4 designated chargers. That way, Tesla can still maintain an excellent customer experience for Tesla customers, while at the same time providing reliable charging for third parties, since other charging networks have proven to be flaky and don't work a large percentage of the time, which could be critical for drivers. This deal seems quite beneficial to Tesla for many other reasons as well. It originally seemed like Tesla would be opening up its entire network to non-Teslas, but as previously stated, that's not the case. So Tesla maintains its differentiation, which preserves the Tesla charging network as a major reason for switching to Tesla, even though the network now supports rival vehicles. Another selling point is that non-Tesla EVs will pay a higher price than Tesla owners, even with a subscription plan to reduce prices and make Tesla's network stickier for non-Tesla EVs. This is important because Tesla actually makes more money with higher utilization, and they do charge less during off-peak hours to incentivize charging around the clock. This is an interesting tactic for Tesla to draw customers away from other charging networks to their own, especially if you look at the supercharger business as a standalone one. Tesla is competing against other networks that may have higher fees and be unreliable. And so if they can steer funding away from competitor networks to their own network, simply by essentially taking the customers and reducing utilization at competitor stations, it will make little sense for rivals to invest in their own networks at the same pace as Tesla if no one is using them, meaning that Tesla will maintain and increase the size of its supercharger moat, which is still very much in play. And to add insult to injury, which is actually quite hilarious, competitor vehicle owners must use Tesla's app and sit in front of a Tesla branded charger each time they want to charge their car. This on its own is free advertising, but Tesla can further target these customers by, say, selling them accessories or having them see what they're missing out on by not switching to a Tesla vehicle. This is a double-edged sword for competitors who gain more reliable charging connectors for their vehicle owner clients, but in exchange may potentially lose these customers in the long term. So do you think Tesla's decision to open their superchargers up to the public, which they were already planning to do, but now getting paid by the government to do it, will help Joe Biden reach his 500,000 charging stall goal by the end of the decade? Don't forget to watch my video on Elon Musk's plan to destroy lithium prices. Please hit the like button and subscribe. We would really appreciate that. And a huge shout out to all of our patrons that help to support our channel. Your support helps us to continue to make great content. Thank you guys so much for watching.